Alright, good morning, everyone. Tried to do this a second ago, but then my King Shepherd decided he wanted to go absolutely goofy balls nuts over somebody walking down the road. Um, he doesn't like other people, and he's not supposed to. So, you ever come into my house, you better be prepared because there's a big freaking black shepherd that will meet you at the door. And if you don't belong there, he will let you know it pretty quick. Anyway, he was being a big goof. Um, gets all worked up. He's good now. The person walked away. Anyway, uh, um, I started out this video earlier and I hadn't made a video in a few days. I've been kind of busy um, with my little ones and into summer and my own business and everything. And so things have been kind of busy. And haven't had a chance to. Today I actually had some chance. The rain's fucking with my day, so I thought I'd sit here and take a few minutes and make a video, talk about a few things. Um, One of the things I want to talk about today is that we're also focused on what's coming versus what's in front of us. And most of us are most people are so focused on things that are coming that aren't even going to affect you. And if they do, it's going to be in such a minuscule way that um, you're making more of it than it is. Well, and actually I have to back up because it's not that it's going to. It would others affect them in a minuscule way, but it's not going to you because you wish for these things to come to your door. So um, we are very powerful individuals here in this world of things, and you manifest and create a lot of what you wish to happen in this world. But I'm getting off track. My point of this is where I was going with this is that we don't take the time for today. We don't, most people don't take the time to thank the process that may be in this world, that is in this world, for another great day here. And I know there's lots of people that are in. No, there isn't. There's a lot of people who feel or think or imagine that they're in such hardships. But in reality, a lot of their hardships is their own creation. So it's hard to give those people sympathy and empathy and all the other these of things. But my point is that this world, the time here is short. Our time here is valuable. It's the most valuable thing that is here. You don't know how long you're going to be here. You have a very limited supply of it. So why are we wasting this on things that go nowhere? And the reason I'm on this topic is because my grandma was in hospice, and um, I don't bring that up for sympathy. It's just why I'm on this topic of thought. Is that I watched her. She was a good woman in this world, as good as she knew how to be, and taught me a lot of good lessons, along with my grandpa, who passed away many years ago. But after my grandpa passed, my grandma took on this mindset of just living life and doing what she wanted to do despite what anyone told her, despite whether her heart was going to fail or not. She just did what she wanted, and to this all the way to the end. It's one of the reasons why she's at where now she's at now, because her heart's failing, and um, so it's just a matter of time before it stops, is what they're saying. Um, I done gave up on trying to convince any of these people about other options and other ways of things, and a long time ago, because I tried, spent many years trying, and when the person you're trying to help doesn't even want to, you know, examine new options and new ideas, then it pretty much becomes pointless. Um, so but that's besides the point. The point is that she lived her life. She did what she wanted to do. She lived out her last of her days the way she wanted to versus the way this world was telling her that she had to do it. And that's the second part of what I'm getting at. The first part, back to the first part of what I was saying about our time here. You know, she's lived into her 80s. To me, that would be a great life. If I could live into my 80s and see my children grow to a point where they're healthy, that'd be awesome. Um, but she's a lucky one because not everybody gets to make it to that age. Not everybody gets to live their life the way that she chose to live it. Um, and even when my grandpa was alive, when they retired, they still did what they wanted to do. But my grandpa was more rigid on things. He was more system orientated, and you got to do things a certain way. And he hated to, he had a hard time breaking out of that. Um, he was very worldly, and I don't mean that as less traveled, but he was concerned of worldly things and worldly worries of things that in the end didn't matter. But that's life. You know, we all make these choices. You know, he was one of those ones, is like many, that just don't know and have no clue and just believed in what they've been taught. And it's no fault of their own. They just did what they were told. And I get it. That goes against my own principles, but you have to have some. This is where we have to have some sympathy and caring and patience, because we're all born into this. We were all told from birth that this is the way it is and this is the way it has to be, and you have to do it this way. You know, so it's like, unless you've never see, and I battle with this because I don't believe that people aren't given the chance or the choice to make a different way in life. I think we're given those chances and opportunities many a time. So I wrestle with this sometimes, as far as, you know, forgiving them, Father, for they know not what they do. But I know that Father's given them many opportunities to know what they do. And so it's a very, we have to be careful there when we start making judgments or opinions on people and the way they are. Now, I'm wrestling with another thought of, is it our place to try to be wakening these people up? I honestly believe at this point, after being in this community of things for so long, that there is none. You're not doing it. And if you think you are, they already became awake from somewhere else, from their inner knowing of something. It's not us. And the only thing that any of you are going to provide, as far as these gatekeeper folks, is that you're just going to give them some basis information. But here's the problem, or base information. But here's the problem with that I found with most of these things, is that you can't 100% prove these things without a doubt. You can show proof of it. You can show like perspectives of what may have been, but there's not enough pieces to be able to put together a exact puzzle picture to see what is happening. And so there's a lot of, in my opinion, guesstimations made, and a lot of foolhardy people who think that they have it figured out based off of only half the facts. That's why I don't sit here and claim to know any of these different things. I know that there's a different history than we've been told. What that history is and what the timeline of that is, it's so scrambled that none of us can tell. And to be honest, if any of these people actually that say these things are this way, then you haven't actually, with a true skeptical heart, looked at these facts. Because even on the other side of those that are bought and paid for into the system, you know, drinking the Kool-Aid, it's in blind faith. So why are we on the other side of things having blind faith into these things? We're doing no better than they are when we do these things. But then we're back to what my original point was, is the time that we're using. I'm not saying that there's a monumental thing that we should be doing every single day. But when there is a life-changing event that comes into your life, that's when those points and times come in when we're supposed to do those next right things. And that's in our everyday, but when things get hard, that's when we're supposed to do that. And so if we're not using our energies in the proper way and we're wasting our time and we're just going in this loop, as it's been called, over and over again, aren't we right into their trap and pen of things? Aren't we right in the midst of them, doing the same as the sheeple of this world? Just in a different way. And we all think, oh, well, we're doing something special. We're not like them. We know something different. Well, you don't. If you do, then why are we still doing the same kinds of things that they're doing, but just painted in a different way? It's no different. They just moved us to another pen. If you know anything about, if any of you have ever read Animal Farm, it's the same thing. We're living it right now. And they just shift us from one pen to another so we're not disrupting the other animals. It's the same thing they do on a farm. When there's an animal that's disrupting the rest of them, they'll tend to separate them. And that's what they've done here with us. It's one of the reasons why most of us can't get any kind of traction. It's not that you're not speaking truth. But here's the other thing. You need to make sure you're telling these people, these new people that are coming into this, is that these are what you've come up with, but you don't have all the answers. Stop acting as though you know it all and have all the answers, because you don't. I don't. Nobody does. Unless we're given the opportunity to study the libraries of the Vatican, or, we have a lot of information here in our hands, but how much of it is true and how much of it is just given to us to fill in narrative? I judge when I meet somebody, I judge the person upon how much programming do they speak. How much of the old ways of societal ways that they're telling us that we're supposed to live, how much of that do they live and breathe and speak in what they bring to the table? And sad to say, even in the truth community, most of you are still very asleep. You still got, sleep in your eyes. You're not seeing the bigger picture here. There's many that do. There's some great men in this world that are. Paul Enslaved is one of them. He sees through all this. He's trying to tell all of you about this. He explains it way better than I do. He articulates it very well. And he pushes some buttons. But those are your own buttons that you're pushing. He's not really pushing them. He's just bringing out things in you, and you push them for yourself because it's your own shit that you got to work on. But this is where I'm talking about the time we're wasting. Why are we wasting on this other shit when we should be building ourselves up to be better and creating a better us? Well, how do you do that? Everybody's all like, well, nobody ever has any answers. Well, I can't answer you for you. I'm not you. What's wrong with you? What issues do you have? What kind of problems do you have in this world? Start by fixing those and finding remedies with those things. Using these different techniques of being patient and kind and standing on your rights and standing up for yourself and speaking your mind within reason. Don't just throw yourself out there all willy-nilly like you think you have it all figured out. There's ways to fix all this stuff. The biggest one is fixing ourselves. And once we are fixed, once we are operating in the proper ways, in the natural ways, I'm not sitting here to tell anybody how they're supposed to live. I'm not going to. But I have the right to speak on those things that I see that are unbecoming of a person, that cause other issues and problems down the road. You may not see it, you may not feel it, but it will. Most drama that happens with all of these people is you created it. You all won't let it go. You get all bent out of shape over a word. Let me tell you a little secret. That word holds no power. Those phrases hold no power until you give it power. It's an empty vessel. I don't understand this. Since when did an empty vessel ever hurt something? It doesn't. The only reason it causes any hurt is because you say it does and you allow it and you put your own hurt into that. Yeah, I'm not saying that other people aren't being mean and aren't being vicious, but you could just move on from that. You can't control the free will, the free choice of others. So one of the reasons you'll never stop wars, you'll never stop others from causing harm because they've chosen to do that. There's some delusional people in this world that think you're going to change this thing that's in place. This has been created by the free will of other men and women, and men and women that are here now. And the only reason, in my opinion, in my view of things, it's not an absolute fucking shithole is because of good people like myself and others that still try and still give an example of what it is to be a good person. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. My anger gets the better of me at times. I'll blow off at somebody quick. But that's one of my things that I'm working on to try to make my life even better. And I've gotten way better in life. I'm a redhead. I'm hot-headed. You start talking to me crazy, I'm going to start talking to you crazy. You start talking nonsense, well, then we're going to have to talk about that and get that figured out. And if you're not honest with me, and then you catch even more hell. If I think you're a liar, a deceiver, somebody who's, trying not to tell the truth because it may make them look bad or feel bad. But if you feel bad or look bad, that's because of your own actions. And you're embarrassed because it was pointed out. It's not the problem of the person who pointed it out. Shouldn't have acted that way in the first place. Should have had some more sense about things. Maybe if you didn't know what to say, you should have just kept your mouth shut. There's all kinds of different things and ways to handle things. Time is short, people. You don't know when your day and hour is to leave this place. You don't. I don't. I could end this video and walk out this building and die. Go down the street and die. Could go to sleep tonight and not wake up. Do I dwell on these things? No. I used to. Used to have a real problem with it. Used to be so scared of dying. God the comedian, because he is. Father's a funny man. But he's also a good father. Because not only through my own choices, but because of my fear of death, I experienced a lot of that through my life. Not of my own self, but of watching others pass away. In multiple different ways. From the age of 3 is the first time I ever watched somebody pass away. That caused me to have some serious fears about death. Because little did I know that this is just, a part of the journey, in my opinion. But when you're a child, you don't know that. I was told he went to a better place. Nobody ever told me he went to Jesus. That side of the family wasn't all that Bible orientated. They believed in God. They were God-fearing people, but they weren't ones to jam Jesus down your throat. So my point about God being the comedian. So because of my fear of things, that was a learning lesson when I was young. Those around me failed me and didn't do what they were supposed to as far as reassuring me that this is a part of life. I created and developed a fear of it. And because of that, I ended up having to witness. I ended up witnessing through my childhood and young adult life a few more people passing. And then when I still didn't get over my fear of death, I watched my other grandmother pass away in hospice. And after that happened, I had a serious, almost mental breakdown of things. spider. Because when I lost that grandma, um, she was a spiritual, how did I say it? Spiritual, she's my spiritual guide in life. Whenever I had questions about God and questions about life and questions about these hardships of things, and she was always there. I could always pick up the phone and call her, and she always had wise words. And oh, hang on, that was my compressor kicking on. Damn it. Anyway, that's when I had to come to a realization of. I came to the realization of what I'm speaking of now is, this is time is very limited and it's very valuable. But once this time's up, it's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be scared of after this. What is there? The unknown. We have ideas. We have men that have put it in writing of what it is after this, but they don't know. And even those afterlife, like those people that have died and come back, I still say you don't know. I think it was your mind that created that. Through your indoctrination of things, depending on whatever it is, it was in your heart that you carried to be truth. Well, what are you spending your time on? What are you giving your time, energy, and attention to? Are you giving it to wasteful things? Are you wasting your life energy? Is what you're doing truly making this world a better place? Is what you're doing making your world a better place? Have you found time, or took the time to make peace and resolution with those that you're at war with or in discord with? I see a lot of characters here on YouTube. And it's like, I wonder sometimes, when you shut that camera off, are you the same person? When this shuts off and you shut your lives down or you shut your videos off and you walk away from the camera, are you speaking and being the same way as you are when you're on that camera? Because I don't think a lot of you are. It's sad. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let's take accountability, responsibility for our actions and our words. Now listen, when I say that about words, I'm not saying that you have to measure all your words. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you've gone beyond defending yourself and you're attacking somebody over the things that you say, or it's beyond you're not trying to help somebody, but you're trying to just belittle them or knock them down, that's what I'm talking about. We have the right to speak our minds and our opinions, but make sure that when you do, you know that you can stand in what you're saying, no matter what. You can articulate what you think and feel. You can articulate your beliefs. Stop just spewing things out and just acting like you know what you're talking about. Because there's some of us that can see. You can see you're fake and fraud and fraudulent. And if you want people to support your ideas, because some of you have some great ideas, but you're so fake and fraud that there's no way any man's going to stand behind you. Not any true men. There'll be men that'll jump ship and eat each other as soon as shit goes bad. If that's the kind of person you want on your crew, then go right ahead. That's not what I want. It's not what I'm going to have. I can't have a liability around me to those that I love or myself. So, what are you spending your time on? Let's use it wisely. Let's do what you want to do. Fulfill your dreams. Pursue them. And what will end up happening is, as you pursue those dreams that you feel you have, other doors of greatness will open up. Of things you never even imagined, never thought would be a part of your life. And these are the things that make life so great. This adventure we're on. I don't know about you all, but I look at this as this is like the grandest adventure ever. You physically get to do what you want. And if you're not doing what you want, you can, when you get to a certain age or life point, you can. Now, I understand there's some bad shit going on, and there's some bad people in this world that are doing bad things to a lot of people. But a lot of that bad that we go through is a lesson for that individual, that soul, that energy. Whatever it is that they're going through is something that is in the divine order of things. And it's going to happen because free will of other individuals is going to always come out. You can't, unless we have some zombified fucking world, you're always going to have, somebody takes away our free will, which you're trying very hard to do. We can control and change this. We control what happens. If you're a bad person, you can change. You can be. That's one of the reasons why any man or woman can be redeemed at any time. But that's the choice of you. You as that individual here to work in this place and be in this place and adventure in this place. I've been blessed in this life overall. And I could think about the things that could have been. I know all the things that were. I know them very intimately. And I know that it could be worse. It's one of the reasons why that I can get through the things I get through, because just think about it. The things you go through, there's somebody going through it worse. And they're doing it. They're making it. They're surviving. May not be the greatest, most enjoyable thing in the world, but they're surviving. And they're getting through it. And eventually there will be a reprieve for them. Just as the same as there will be for you. But that reprieve only comes if you decide to do the right things. And you move in the right ways. It's very simple. And when others speak of your results, it's not about necessarily the monetary stuff. If you live this life, the results will be you will find your peace and happiness. Your results will be great things will come. This whole idea that we must suffer in order to learn, you're going to suffer. It's just what it is. You're going to feel pain. You're going to feel heartache. You're going to go through loss. You're going to go through all these things. It's unavoidable. Unless you live in some cave under the world and never be a part of anything. It's the only way. You have to exit society in life. And that's giving up, in my opinion. We have to live this life. You can't just wing it. Not wing it, but you can't just circumvent yourself from this world. Put yourself above this world. Even living the greatest, purest of lives, you're still going to go through hardships. All you those that speak of Jesus, you know this. But there is peace to be had. And it isn't following some plastic figurine. Y'all got it fucked up. I hate to tell you. It's way simpler than y'all make it. All this is way simpler. Other men have made this complicated. Other men have made this so folks don't understand what's really going on. Because they trust and believe in these other men. Why trust upon another man's discernment? Read it for yourself. Look the words up for yourself. Study the stuff for yourself. Instead of relying on somebody else's interpretations and ideas of what this is. I look at it like a movie adaptation from a book. When you read that book, there's a reason why that movie doesn't come off as good as that book did. Because you created that story in your head. You created through your imagination the picture that you're reading. You created that. Then when you watch that movie, it doesn't match your creation. So we think it's not as good. It's the same thing with these readings and these writings that are throughout history, not just the Bible, but others. Read it for yourself. Develop your own picture of it. Because I'm not these other people. That's their image of it. That's their projection of it, not mine. Their lives aren't my life. They are to an extent. But their experiences are different than mine. Why? Because I'm a different soul. Father sees that I need to go through different things than others do. Same way with the rest of you. This realm isn't kind. It has kindness in it. This realm will steal all of your life energy if you allow it to. And then after that, I think you're just spit back into it again. Higher vibrations. Y'all want to sit and say, oh, well, I'm the high vibing, da-da-da. It's not what that's about. It's not about the here and now. It's about raising the vibration of your consciousness. It's not about being some sort of guru. In my opinion of things, in my view of things, is it's more of like a, if you're not strong enough to leave here, you're not going to. And that's what this is all about. And if you don't level up while you're here, you're not going to be strong enough to leave here. Why would you? No father would allow his child who's unprepared to go into the world. This is not the world. This is a world. This is just a piece of the puzzle. This realm that we're in is only a fraction of what this is. And if we truly are as it's written, as Jesus proclaimed us to be, gods, then no responsible, all-knowing Father is going to allow us, our souls and energies that are powerful, to be just released upon this, the true world that is out there. Did we choose to come here? I don't know. Did God create us and this is where we have to come? This is like our incubator? I don't know. Is there a Jesus? I don't know. What I do know is there's some great writings in this world that when you apply them to your life and to you and who you are, you get outstanding outcomes, exceptional outcomes. That's where your time, energy, and attention is so important. Stop wasting your time on things that are not building you to a higher vibration, that are not creating a greater you. Not you physically, you spiritually, you energetically. Time is short. Y'all want to escape this place. Y'all don't want to be a part of it. You want to be a part of something greater. Well, the only way that is if you allow yourself to escape this place and move on and go somewhere to the greater realms of things. But that's your energies. That's up to you. I know by my results in life that I am moving in the right direction. And that I know that I am my own person. I am of the Father. I am of this world. I came from the dirt of this world. Same as you. We're a part of this place. We're supposed to be connected to it, not as far away as possible. Anyway, about tapped out as far as thoughts go for this. Not really. I could keep going. I'm not really. That's not true. I shouldn't say that. I retract that. I just know that if I make this video any longer, the retention is very low, and so it won't get watched. So I may break it into 2 parts just so. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Do you like the 30-minute videos? Do you like when I just talk? I know sometimes I feel like I get a little off and I'm jumping back and forth, but I hope y'all see where I'm making all these connections. I want everybody to be the best it can be. And being the best you can be sometimes starts with being little to nothing. And work from there. And for all you ones that claim to know it all, if I just listened to you, I'd understand. I have listened to you. I have given you my time, energy, and attention. You've brought nothing new to my life other than you've shown me, well, I take that back. You've brought in small things to my life. What I could have been. Had I made those types of choices, what I could have been. See, a lot of these people we meet, I think, are reflections of ourselves. Of what could have been. Had I chose to stay and waller in my hate and pity and self-loathing of my divorce, I'd still be living in a dark hovel like I was. Probably an alcoholic at this point. Probably doing who knows what. Not taking care of my children like I should have been. Did I? No. Because I decided to make the next right choice every time. Stand up for what is right and true. Every time. After my divorce, when I became more awake and more, how did he put it? As some would say, spiritually connected. I could have took on this role of some sort of guru. But that's not what I'm here to do. It's not what none of us are here to do. If you have something that you can bring to the table, be an example. Words are cheap. Words are weak. You, through your physical, can do more than those words ever will. And many of you are trying to say you're an example, but you show nothing. How do you, some of you gurus, start teaching people what they're supposed to do? You speak a lot of things. You say a lot of jumble word salad stuff, but you give nobody any bread. No real sustenance. It's very hollow. And those of us that can see it, see it. And we will continue to call you out. Because you're a danger to others. You're going to slow their progress down. You're going to create them to go in backwards or distrust, even more than they already do. You don't have the answers. You may have help for them to make their life better, but they are the ones that have to come up with their answers for their own problems, their own dilemmas, their own issues. There's nobody here to fix your problems. It'll never be fixed the way you want it to be fixed or the proper way because you didn't take the time, energy, and attention properly to put into these things for them to be resolved, to become better, for the best outcome. But, hey, to each your own. If y'all want to follow fools, go ahead, follow fools. There's great men out there that really are showing that they're doing stuff. Any of you that have followed me, you know me. I was as low as low. Everything was taken away from me in my life. Everything. Did I give up? No. Did I give in to my anger and my loathing and my hatred? No. Did I want to? Oh, yes, I did. So many times. So many times. But I knew that wasn't the right thing. That wasn't going to be the right thing to do. That wasn't going to give me the right outcome. It's very simple. It's not easy to do. The answers are simple. The actions are hard. The doing is the hard part. And I lost it all, and I was given it all back and then some. I want for nothing in this world. I have good relationships. I have good family. My kids are stable. There's a lot. There's some bad. My grandma's on her deathbed. I got family that has cancer. Bills still keep coming in. I still have to run my business. There's all kinds of shit and stresses that come along. But it's just life. And here's a great sign I read once, and I love it every time I pass it, is that stress is the lack of faith. If you don't have faith in yourself, you don't have faith that everything's going to be okay. If you don't have belief in that, it's never going to be. It's always going to be in chaos and discord in your life. You'll never find peace. Love thyself. Find and figure out how to love yourself. If you don't know what love is, love is it's an easy but complicated thing. It's complicated in what it does to individuals, or what it can do. But it's very easy. Accept what Father has given you and born you into this world as. Have faith in those things and in your doings and your being. Have faith that Father will always provide. And love will be shown to you. You'll see the love for yourself. You'll find it. You're not bad. You're only taught bad. We create bad habits because this world shows us bad habits. We're taught these things from birth, most of us. And to overcome it, to see past it, is one of the biggest challenges. But it's doable. First thing you have to do is start questioning people. If it doesn't feel right inside you, then you should probably question that. Examine that a little more. Don't just take it wholeheartedly as the truth. Anyway, I'm going on and on. Now I'm at almost 45 minutes. So, in closing, just everybody, let's do better. Let's be better. Let's use our time, energy, and attention in a more productive way. What do you need to get done today? What needs to be a priority for you today? Work on it. Doesn't mean you're going to accomplish it, but you could work on it and start making progress. If you're unhappy in your situation in life, make one change today to that old habit. Tomorrow, make 2 changes. The next day, make 3 changes. And keep going. Changing the habit and keep going. Pretty soon you'll form new habits and you'll be like, whoa, my life is so much better now. Time, energy, and attention. And doing the next right thing. Those are keys. You want something to do? Want something to change? These are keys to do. Apply this into your life and it will work. Be forgiving of those others. Doesn't mean you forget. Doesn't mean you let them do it again. When I say forgive, that means not to hold it in here. Let it go. Whatever that stirred inside of you, whatever that energy, use that energy to express yourself to this person that may have done you wrong, and then let it go. Stop hanging on to these little piddly petty things that weigh your heart and soul down, keep you from moving properly in this world. Anyway, people wanted things to do. These are things you can do. I'm not you. I can't apply them to you in your life. You have to figure that out. Just the same as I did. Just the same as others have. There's nobody coming to save you. You have to save yourself. The journey is not easy. Temptations abound. But that is this world. That is where we are. But you have the choice. You have the time still to make these choices. Time, energy, and attention. Focused. Creates results. All right, y'all. That's all I got. I'll be back again. Peace, love, and bubblegum. Till we meet again, I hope you all have a great, blessed, prosperous day. And don't forget, let me know. Do you like these longer videos or do you want them shorter? Because I can talk about a bunch of different things. Whether sometimes I shock myself that some of this doesn't make sense. No, it does. I downplay myself a lot. I try to stay humble with humility in all I do. That's another way of finding things, finding results and changes. When you implement all of these things into your everyday, then I promise you, your day will become better. And if you're truly being honest, that's the other key. You have to truly be honest with yourself, where you're at, who you are, what you're doing, what you've done. If you can't answer these questions, look yourself in the mirror and answer these questions truthfully and honestly, then start there. Working on those things that you're not holding to be true, that you know are true. You all know your flaws. There might be a few things that you're not aware of, but overall, you know what gets you results in this world and what doesn't. And if you don't, then you probably should change what you're doing. If your results aren't like you want them to be, then obviously you're not doing what you should be doing. Anyway. Oh yeah, and the other thing, stop blaming God for everything. There's a divine order here. Man's and women's free will changes that flow, the ebb and flow of that. God allows this to happen because that's the way it's set up. There's a natural order here, a way things are. And the further away we are from that, the crazier and fucked up this world is. And you can see it now. So find source, find creator. However that is, whatever you imagine that to be. This all radiates from somewhere. This all came from somewhere. There's a divine order in all that is here. And we men and women think that we can change and make it better when we just need to work with it and not against it and not trying to change it. If we learned how these things worked better and understood how these all things work together better, then we would work better with these things. But this seems to be some lost teaching of man, because man thinks they're so much better, can do it better. This is what happens when you take God out of things. Anyway, 48 minutes. I'm out of here. All right. I already said this once, but I'll say it again. Peace, love, bubblegum. I love you all. Blessings and prosperity. I'll talk to you all again soon. And hope you all have a blessed, wonderful day. Bye now.